Welcome. I'm Jacky. I am an EFT practitioner, which stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and I am a certified financial coach. And I am coming here live on my personal page here to teach some basics about EFT. And the purpose of me being here to share this information with you is, we're going through a lot right now in the US and all over the world. And the technique that I'm going to share with you tonight actually helps reduce stress. It helps reduce cortisol in the body, which is the stress hormone. Hi, Heather. Yes, my profile is open, so thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Spreading the word. So the cortisol is the stress hormone. So when we are in a state of stress, our body gets amped up, our cortisol level rises, and we can't function properly. We go into fight, flight, freeze mode. So stress, I'll tell you more about fight, flight, freeze mode in just a moment, but the stress in our body can come from all sorts of things. It can come from as simple as being in your car and feeling like you almost are going to hit somebody or somebody's almost going to hit you. Your body could go into fight, flight, freeze mode from that instant fear that goes into your body. It could be from having a conversation with somebody where you guys are disagreeing about something and you start to raise your voices and get heated. That can send your body into fight, flight, freeze mode. And so what fight, flight, freeze mode is it's your body's natural way that it helps keep you safe. And you've heard about fight, flight, freeze mode. Probably you've heard about our bodies being in you've heard like the reptilian state, or you've heard people talking about cavemen and how our bodies are still reacting like they were back then. And that's true, and that's something that I want to explain to you so you can have an understanding of what the heck that means. So back in caveman days, if you think about it, the way that they retrieve food was either hunting or gathering. And when they're hunting, if a lion or somebody is chasing after the hunter, they have some options. They can fight the lion, and that might not bode well for them. Don't know. They could fight the lion. They could run from the lion, and the lion, they might outrun the lion, they might not. They could freeze, and freezing when there's a lion there might not be a good thing to do, but that's what our body does. Our body automatically goes into fight, flight, freeze state when there is something that it fears could take our life. And so the way I just want to explain to you how this works in your daily life, because we're going through a lot right now, but we have such busy lives, or we did up until, everything slowed down, and things are slowing down more and more as more states are calling things to a halt and putting things to a halt and asking you to stay home. So things are really, really shifting. And up until this point, things that put us in that fight, flight, freeze place, it could have been a coworker that you don't like working with, that annoys the crap out of you, that you get agitated and frustrated, and then you might react at them in some way. Or it could be you're not getting along with your significant other in some way, and you guys are butting heads and you don't want to talk to them, you're avoiding them. There's all different ways in your everyday life that that your body can go into that fight, flight, freeze place. Now, we're facing a global pandemic, and this is something that we've never been through exactly like this before. There's been similar situations, but this isn't, everyone is a little bit different because we're in a different space in the world and we have different things going on and different technologies. And so we've never been through this together before, this same way. And when things start to be spread on the news that people are dying, or we have to have our kids be at home for school and we're not used to that, or now people are losing their jobs because their employer can't keep things going because they're not in a facility where they can follow the requirements needed to space people out, or they're not an essential business. All different things are shifting. Now, some people have parents that are elderly that they're concerned about. Some of their parents are in different facilities that are locking them in, and the parents are confused, and there's worry around that. There's a whole bunch of things that are happening to us. And not to us in a victim state, just to us that we're having to work through. And because we haven't faced these things before, we get scared. And so when we get scared, we can go into fight, flight, freeze mode. And so the tool that I want to teach you is going to help you be able to get out of fight, flight, freeze mode. It's going to be able to help you function better in your daily life. It's going to help you be able to interact with people better. And so the tool that I'm going to teach you is called EFT. It's Emotional Freedom Technique. And there's a lot to this tool, but I'm going to give you the very basics that can help get you started using it and help get relief in your body of any of the emotions that are coming up for you: fear, anxiety, overwhelm, stress, concern. There's a lot of financial fears going on right now too. And so this tool can help relieve some of those things where you can feel a sense of relief. You can have your body calm down on the inside. And I'm not saying it's going to make it go away. I'm not saying it's going to heal things. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this can help provide some relief to you in this time where we all need a little bit of relief because life is changing significantly and quickly. So the EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and we call it tapping because we tap with our fingertips on different meridian endpoints on our body. And so I'm going to show those to you in just a moment. So you may have heard of meridian points before, if you're familiar with acupuncture at all. Acupuncture uses meridian endpoints. In acupuncture, they insert needles in those meridian endpoints, and that loosens up the energy and gets it flowing again. But we're not going to be inserting needles. We're going to be using our fingertips to tap on those points to get the energy flowing again. And it helps release the stuck emotions. So stuck emotions are if you're going through stressful times and you don't want to acknowledge them, or you ignore them, or something really traumatic happened in your life, emotions can get stuck because we weren't dealing with them or processing them. And a lot of times it's because we don't know how. We weren't really taught this kind of stuff in school, like, hey, let's process your emotions. It was more like, hey, you should be quiet, or don't get angry, or quit crying so much, or, you know, all these different messages that we received that didn't teach us how to process emotions. And so this helps us to be able to get them out of our body when they're stuck in there. I'm a really interactive teacher when I'm teaching this, and so I want you to feel free to ask questions in the comment as I go along and take you through an exercise in just a little bit. There's a lot of natural questions that people have that come up. And so you're welcome to ask those in the comments, and I'll also, if people aren't asking them, I will answer them because I know what the common questions are. I've been tapping since 2013, and I got certified as a practitioner in 2015, and I've been tapping with thousands, hundreds, thousands of clients and helping them shift their life in so many different ways. And so I know what the common questions are that people ask when I first teach people how to use EFT. So we're going to start, and I just want you to tap along with me as I show you these points so you can start to familiarize yourself with it. So you can use your left hand or your right hand, it doesn't matter, either one, whatever is most comfortable for you. And you're going to start right on the top of your head. So if you're looking in a mirror, you'd be able to see your hand towards the back of your head, not on the back of your head, not towards the front, but right towards the back where you can still see your hand. So you're just going to tap there lightly on the top of your head. Then the next point is on the inside of the eye, and there's actually 3 points around the eye. So the first one is on the inside, and I usually use 2 fingertips here. It's in this space between like the eyebrow and where the bridge of the nose comes together, and you're just going to tap there lightly. Okay, so right in this space. The next point is on the outside of the eye. So you can kind of feel where that bone is and where the corner of your eye comes together, and you're tapping there. So again, I have 2 fingertips and I am tapping on that bone piece, not in, but out, because you don't want to poke your eye out. We're not trying to hurt ourselves. So the next point is under the eye, right on that bone there. So if you can feel that bone, just tap there lightly. You want to be gentle, especially around your eyes, but on your face in general, because our face is very sensitive. And so we're tapping enough that we can feel the pressure, but not to the point that it hurts. Okay, the next point is under the nose, and you can remember that pretty easily. And the next point is the crease in your chin. So you're going to tap there. And you can tap with 3 fingers here or 4 if you can get them all on there. And I usually tap with 2 or 3. That's perfect. And then the next 2 points are on our torso. And I want you to use both hands to just feel around, because there's a couple of pressure points that you might be sensitive to. So I want you to imagine where you would tie a tie, go down about 1 inch and over 3 to 4 inches on each side. And I want you to feel around here. This is actually not on the bone, it's more on the tender part. And what I'm having you feel around for is any sensitive areas. The sensitive areas might just mean that there is some energy that's stuck there. And so you're going to tap there. And if you don't have a sensitive spot, that is perfectly fine. You're just going to keep tapping in the softer part. And this is where you're going to tap. When we do a tapping round, you'll just tap with 1 hand, but I want you to feel where it is that you're going to tap, because when we do the round, we don't measure and figure it out. So I want you to know where this is. But you'll still be able to look at the video and see me tapping, so you'll get the idea too. The next point is under the arm. So go under the armpit, down 3 to 4 inches. Women, it's where your bra band would be. Men, it would be across from your nipple point. And I want you to feel around on both sides. Press there with your fingers. Now there's some points that are really tender here, and so just feel them, and that's where you're going to want to tap. So you can see how I'm tapping. I call this a chicken wing because it kind of looks like a chicken wing. And I'm tapping with the ends of my fingers. You could also tap with the sides of them. You can also run your arm across your body. Whatever is most comfortable for you is perfect. You just want to hit that spot. And you don't need to do it with both arms when you're tapping. I just wanted you to get a feel for where you will be tapping. So we'll start off at the top of the head when we do the rounds, and then we go down through the points, and then we go back up and back down. So I'll take you through that in a moment. Now I am going to explain what I am going to help you with here. We are going to, thank you, Julie, for sharing. I'm going to take you through what I call a constricted breathing exercise. In this constricted breathing exercise, I'm going to tell you what the instructions are, and then I'm going to walk you through it. So you don't have to memorize. I just want you to know what's coming. And when I take you through this exercise, this is going to help you experience tapping. And when we do this, I'm going to also have you put some comments in just a moment. And there'll be simple comments, not any personal information or anything, okay? So in just a moment, I'm going to have you take a deep breath in, and then I'm going to have you let it out, and then I'm going to have you measure it on a scale of 0 to 10. 0, it's super easy for you to breathe. 10, you're feeling restricted, like it's really, really hard to breathe. You're going to be somewhere on that scale between 0 and 10. You might even have a number pop up in your mind, and I want you to trust that. That's your body speaking to you and giving you information. If a number doesn't pop up, that's okay. I just want you to figure out what that would be, because you have an idea of what it is to breathe easy, and you have an idea of what it is to not be able to breathe easy at all. So you will know somewhere on that scale. And once we get that number, then I'm going to start tapping on the top of the head, and I'm going to say the phrase constricted breathing. And then I'm going to be quiet for a moment and let you say that phrase, and I like you to say it out loud. There's power when we use our voice and say it out loud. It helps us. So when you say the words out loud, then we're going to go to the next point. I'll tell you what the point is, because I find that a lot of people like to close their eyes when they're doing this, and you're welcome to do that or keep them open. But I'll tell you what the point is, because I'm also training your brain to what the points are, so you can remember them to use this tool later on your own. And then after I take you through the points a couple of times and we say constricted breathing multiple times, then I'll have you remeasure your breath again. Now I'm going to guide you through all this, so we'll do that right now. So go ahead and put your feet on the floor if you're able to. And then I want you to take a deep breath in and let that out. And I want you to measure it on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is it's super easy to breathe. 10, you're super restricted. You're having a really hard time breathing. You're somewhere on that scale. A number might pop up in your head, and go ahead and trust that. So get your number. All right, now you have your number, and now we're going to start tapping. I just want you to remember what your number is. And here we go. Follow along with me and repeat after me. Constricted breathing. Then we're moving to the inside eye. Constricted breathing. Outside eye. Constricted breathing. Under eye. Constricted breathing. Under nose. Constricted breathing. Crease and chin. Constricted breathing. Collarbone. Constricted breathing. I see some people are just joining on, and just tap along, follow along with me and repeat after me, and I'll explain a little bit more in just a moment. Constricted breathing. Move to underarm. Constricted breathing. And back to the top of your head. Constricted breathing. Inside eye. Constricted breathing. Outside eye. constricted breathing. Under eye, constricted breathing. Under nose, constricted breathing. Crease and chin, constricted breathing. Collarbone, constricted breathing. I want you to stay right here on this point and keep tapping. And then I want you to take a really deep breath in as far down as you can go into your belly. And slowly let that out so your exhale is longer than your inhale, and know that you are safe. We'll do that again. Take another deep breath in, all the way down as far as you can go. And slowly let that out so your exhale is longer than your inhale, and know that you are safe. All right, you can stop tapping for a moment, and we're going to remeasure. Now, if you're just joining us and you didn't measure, then this will be your first measurement. So I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in and let that out. And I want you to measure that on a scale of 0 to 10. 0, it's super easy to breathe. So if it got easier for you, your number went down. 10 is really hard to breathe. So if your number got worse, like it got harder to breathe, then your number went up. You're somewhere on that scale between 0 and 10. So this is where I want you just to put a comment in the chat there and just put two numbers, your starting number first and where you are now. And then if you have any questions, you can add that in. There's a lot of questions that come up, and I'm happy to answer your questions. And I'll answer some questions that even if you don't ask them, because they're pretty common questions that I get as I teach tapping. So go ahead and put your numbers in and tell me where you started and where you are now. And if you didn't get a starting number because you're just joining us, then just give me the number of where you are now. And then we're going to do another round of tapping so you can experience some more shifts. I don't see any numbers coming through yet. I'll just wait another moment because I know there's a little delay. So LV went from a 7 to an 8, so you went up. It got more, more intense, harder to breathe for you. Yes, I will leave the replay up, but you can absolutely watch that, Deanna. And Pilar, you're at a 6. Carrie, you're at a 4. All right. So LV, did your breathing get worse? You went from a 7 to an 8? No. So it got better. So the scale is the reverse way. So if you got better, your number would go down. Okay. So we're going to start tapping again. And this time I'm going to add other phrases in addition to constricted breathing. And so just follow along with me and repeat out loud after me. And this will actually answer some of your questions and help your numbers drop some more. Okay? So follow along with me. Repeat after me. Constricted breathing. Inside eye, constricted breathing. Outside eye, this thing is a little strange. Under eye, this tapping is a little strange. Under nose, I feel funny tapping on my face. Crease and chin, I'm not sure I'm doing this right. Collarbone, am I doing this right? Underarm, I don't know. Top and head, does this stuff even work? inside eye because it looks kind of funny. Outside eye, constricted breathing. Under eye, constricted breathing. Under nose, constricted breathing. Crease in chin, constricted breathing. Collarbone, constricted breathing. So I want you to stay on this point and keep tapping and take another deep breath in all the way down as far as you can go. And slowly let that out and know that you are safe. We'll do that again. Take another deep breath in all the way down as far as you can go. And slowly let it out so your exhale is longer than your inhale, and know that you are safe. All right, you can stop tapping for a moment and let's remeasure your breath to see where you are now. So go ahead and take another deep breath in and let it out when you're ready. And then remeasure on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is that you can breathe super easy, and 10 is you're really constricted. You're having a hard time breathing. So if it got easier for you, your number goes down. And if it got more difficult, then your number goes up. And you could also have stayed the same. So check in and see where you are and put the number in the comments so I know how you're doing. And I'll wait just a minute, and if you're just joining us, no problem. You can tap along with us as I keep sharing information here, and also the replay will be available so you can watch the replay as well. I'll just wait a moment. 6 to 2, so that is a nice shift. 6 to 5, awesome. So you guys are experiencing tapping. So I want you to start tapping again, and this time we're just going to tap on the points. You're going to follow me, but I'm going to talk and I'm going to share some more information for you so you have some more details about tapping. So just follow along with me. You don't have to repeat anything. Just keep tapping and take the information in. So when our body is in a stressed out state, there's all different ways that it releases those stuck emotions and gets the energy moving again. And so if you're tapping and you find yourself coughing, sighing, yawning, burping, sneezing, you could even get emotional tears behind your eyes, or tears could run down. All different ways that your body releases stuck energy. And so if you've experienced any of those things while you're tapping right now, or you're tapping on your own later, please know that that's a good sign. That's good. Your body is shifting, it's releasing, and that's how it's letting go. So you should celebrate that. That is a good sign. Okay, that's one thing. I mentioned early on, it doesn't matter if you tap with your left hand or your right hand. Either one is perfect. One of the most common questions I get is, Julie, why are we tapping on the negative? Because I'm saying constricted breathing instead of, oh, my breathing is so easy. Well, I mentioned earlier that our brains are hardwired for fear, and our brains go to that fear state first. And with that comes thoughts like, I'm angry, or I'm frustrated, or I'm scared, or whatever is going on. And those thoughts and those fears are in your body, like they exist. They're in your mind, they exist. And so what we're doing is acknowledging them. So you have constricted breathing because nobody said I'm a 0. You all started with a number other than 0. And so there's some kind of constricted breathing. And so what we're doing is we're acknowledging that you have constricted breathing. We're giving it a voice. We're tapping while we're doing this, and then that process helps it release. And it can just release on its own, or it can come out through a yawn, a cough, a sigh, a burp, all those things that I mentioned. Those are all ways that you'll shift. So that's what our body is doing when we are giving things a voice. So constricted breathing, although it seems like it's negative, it's actually supporting your body to acknowledge that and let that go. So a lot of times I tap with clients on affirmations, or I tap with them about a tough situation that they have going on, and they need to vent and let stuff go while we're tapping in order to get to the better feeling emotion. So you notice that we were just tapping on constricted breathing, or I was making statements that you were repeating after me, like, this looks funny, am I doing it right? Those are just thoughts that go through our head that continue to cause more constricted breathing. So I'm just giving them a voice and helping acknowledge and release them. And that's as simple as it is. Now, some very specific tips for you so you can use this tool in your life, especially while we're going through this coronavirus situation. First of all, when you're tapping, I always say talk out loud, say things out loud, because there's something that happens when you vocalize out loud. You know what I mean? Because there's been times in your life where you've wanted to give somebody a piece of your mind, and you come up with this whole plan in your head of exactly what you're going to say to them. And then when it comes time to say it, it comes out wonky or tongue-tied, or you mess it up. And it's because you just practice up here, not articulating it verbally. And so when we say it out loud, that helps us to release it even more. So speaking out loud, and then I want you to pretend that you're talking to your very best friend. And your very best friend is not coaching you, not offering you advice, not telling you what to do. Your friend is listening to you. And when we feel like somebody's listening to us, we're able to share more. And when you're able to share more, you're able to get at the deeper emotions that are stuck there. And so when you talk out loud and pretend that you're talking to your dearest friend, and you're tapping while you're doing those things, that will help you release a lot on your own. That is one of the ways to do it. Another way is through journaling. You can journal a little bit about what's going on and then tap on it. So read that journal out loud and tap while you're doing it. And then when you feel like you've gotten some relief from that, then you can go back, journal a little bit more, and then read it out loud and tap on that, and just keep doing that process, and you'll find relief in that. Now I'm going to show you another technique that I use when I'm with people and I can't do these points because it looks a little weird. And you know, I don't sit around the dinner table and tap with my family. Like, we don't hang out that way. It'd be awesome if we did, but we don't. I have been known to tap at restaurants with friends, but that's another story. So I'm going to show you, let's see if I can do it this hand. I'm going to show you how to tap on the sides of your fingers, because you can stick your hand under the table, you can stick your hand down by your side, you can go out for a walk and tap. And so you're going to take your thumb and you're tapping on the side of your finger, and you're getting part of the nail bed there. Let's see. I'm really not good with this camera thing. You're just tapping on the side. And then you're going to go to the next finger and the next finger and the next finger, and you're tapping on the side of the nail bed at the side of the tip of the finger. And then you're going to go back the other way, and you're just going to keep doing this. So if you're at dinner with your family and somebody is irritating you, but you really don't want to raise your voice and you're frustrated, just stick your hand under the table and start tapping. And what that will do is help you reduce the cortisol that's building up, and that anxious feeling or that angry feeling. It'll help calm that down, and then you're more likely to stay in control and not say something that you would regret later, not start yelling, not just go into that space of where you can't really return and recover in a great way. And that'll stop you from saying and doing things that you really would rather not anyways. So this is super effective to use when you can't use all the other tapping points. It works. I've used it many times. I've used it at work in meetings. I've used it when I've been in the car riding with people. I've used it when I've been walking by myself, just tapping and thinking things and feeling emotions, and it's been really helpful. So this is another way that you can use tapping, again, when you can't use all the full points. The full points, there's a lot of advantages to them because they're different. They represent different parts of the body, and they represent different emotions. And so we do this very specific sequence to get at those different parts and those different emotions. And you don't get the same total effect here, but this will help you. Okay, I use the sides of finger tapping all the time. Yeah, it's good to use. So you go forward and back on your fingers. Yeah, so let's see, hold on. It's really hard to position this. I'll go back this way. This is entertaining. I can't position it the right way. Here we go. Yeah, I'm just using my thumb and first tapping on the pointer finger, then the middle finger, then the ring finger, then the pinky finger, and now I'm going back the other way. So you can also do it this way, but then you have to use two hands, and sometimes you can't use two hands. So if you practice and teach yourself to do this, it will become normal and you'll do it all the time. Now, I have another tip that's really important and helpful. Now that some of us can't see people in our lives, like in our home, or get together connected with them, we're reaching out in different ways. We're talking to people on the phone a little bit more. And, you know, sometimes people irritate the heck out of us. And when you still want to check on those people because you love them and you want to stay connected, but you don't want to get into a yucky state when you talk to them. So when you're on your own phone, you can call them up and be tapping. And they won't know that you're tapping. And what this will do for you is help you to stay calm and not get worked up when you're talking to them. If you have a tendency to get worked up, if they irritate the heck out of you, if they're negative, if they're talking about all the crazy stuff on the news and you don't normally do that, like there's lots of things. So you can listen to people on the phone and just tap. And this will help your body to stay calm during that time when you're on the phone with them so you don't react at them. And that will help both of you. That will help your relationship with them because you're staying calm. Now, there's some people in my life that I do that with all the time. If I'm calling them, I'm tapping. And I, call them and check on them because I absolutely love them. And this is a way that helps me be able to connect with them and to do my own self-care to keep me in a place where I'll be kind. So this is when we get worked up from certain people in our lives, then we don't always have kind words come out. So you guys, do you have any questions? Some of you have been on for a little bit. Some of you are just getting on. Do you have any questions about anything I've covered? You can feel free to ask them and just tag me so I'm sure to answer. And you can do that either, right now, if you have questions right now, or when you're watching the replay, just tag me and I'll answer your questions. I'm happy to answer them so you can know how to use this tool. And also, if you are interested and you live in the US, I have these tapping postcards, and I'm happy to send them in the mail to you. Just PM me and send me your address, and I'll pop it in the mail to you. It's for free. It has my information on it, but it has the tapping points so you know which ones to use. And then on the back is a how to use it. And yeah, I'd be happy to send that to you. It just is a stamp, and I'll put a cute little note. I have these little heart notes, and I will be happy to send that to you. They're helpful reminders to remember to tap, and also to remember how to tap. You can also save this video. I think there's a way to save it so you can refer back to it another time and go over it again. And it's here for you. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions, so feel free to tag me and I can answer them for you. No question is a stupid question. Like, we all have learned different things over our lives, and there's lots of... All right, Laura, awesome. All right, Carrie, see you later. Thanks for joining. There's lots of questions that people have. So you guys, thanks so much for being here and taking this time and for trying this technique out. I hope that it really helps you in your life, especially as we're going through these challenging times and we have extra stress going on right now. Even I've noticed that I'm not being as productive as I have been in the past because I feel this underlying fear and some of it's unknown, and so I've been tapping extra. Do you have any videos on fear? Yeah, so I have a tapping community. It's not just a tapping community, but let me get the title of it. It's called Tap Into Your Heart. And in that community, when there's a Facebook group, I made mine a learning community, and then there's units in it. In the units, I've separated out the different kinds of tapping videos. So let me go in there and tell you what I have. My tapping community, or my Tap Into Your Heart community, because it's not just tapping, is free. You're welcome to join it if this is of interest to you. I have a whole bunch of Q&As in there that answer all your questions. What do I say when I tap? How long do I tap? What can I tap on? All those types of things. I have a whole bunch of affirmations you can tap on. I mentioned at the beginning that I'm a financial coach as well as an EFT practitioner. And so I have a whole bunch of videos about tapping on money, because we have a lot of emotions associated with money. And especially right now, if you've lost your job or there's things that are going on for you, then that might be something good to tap on. And then there is procrastination, overwhelm, pain relief, food cravings, and there's stuff on conflict and forgiveness. And you're right, I don't see one on fear. So LV, I can do that. We can do a live in the next week or so on fear. But also, LV, I think you're in the Tap Into Your Heart with Julie Jacky group. And in there, I did tap on the coronavirus impact today, and that video is available, and that will help you through fears as well. So go check that out if you haven't already, and that will help guide you. So you guys, thanks for being here. Please feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer them, and let me know how this tool works for you. Thank you.